You are watching the Pan-African Daily TV with Dr. Susan Tata. The Africa we want: unity, consciousness, our culture, our spirituality, our history. One Africa for Africans worldwide. Motherlands calling its diaspora home. Join my voice. Join my team. Join my campaign. Campaign 21 hashtag 1 million subscribers on the Pan-African Daily TV YouTube. Be a volunteer. Apply now. Be the new Africa.
After centuries of misguidance caused by slavery, colonization, lack of awareness of our history, and institutional disinformation, a new Africa is on the move, determined and getting organized. Afrika tuko pamoja. Welcome to the United Kingdoms of Great Africa. The United Kingdoms of Great Africa is the credo of the alliance movement of all African intelligences around a common ideal: the unity and development of a strong, conquering, and completely dedogmatized Africa through the channel of a strong organization called the Africa We Want Global. You are an African, Afro-descendant, researcher, historian, scientist, or simply an NGO. You want to be part of this great historical march towards the total freedom of an uninhibited Africa? Visit our website www.africawewantglobal.org. Register and discover the range of our platforms for change. AfricaWeWantGlobal.org. Join the kingdom, be part of it. An initiative of Dr. Susan Tata.
Welcome everyone. Welcome, dear Pan-Africanists and Africans worldwide. I want to salute you on this beautiful evening right here in Europe. And I think that should be about 4 p.m. or 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time out there in the diaspora. I want to welcome you once more again to special exclusive edition where we have our professor, brother, biggest poetry man, the spoken poetry man. That's how they will call it in Dakar, Senegal, or in Cameroon, they will call it Tok Tok, the Tok Tok man. You see, and these are some of the words that has been stolen, and you guys start hearing about TikTok and you think that is something that is created. Remember, everything has been stolen. And so even the Tok Tok has been taken all away from us. So I want to salute all of you that are joining the Pan-African Daily TV this evening live. We are streaming from all multiple platforms today, and I want to thank Facebook, of course, for uplifting, the band that they put on our Facebook page so we can go live on that page. And I want to welcome all of you that are watching from across the continent and in the diaspora on our Facebook platforms. I do also want to thank all of you that are joining from the YouTube channels, wherever you're watching from the Caribbean, from Mexico, from Haiti. And as you can know, Pan-African Daily TV is reaching out the world from all corners of the earth where our Black people are actually sitting there. Tonight, we have our elder brother, Professor Ron Spears. I mean, you can remember some of you that were here last time and he brought me down to my knees. You know, when somebody touches a village girl like myself, then you know you have something to deal with me. And he just did that. And I think he's coming again in a double mood, like to say, I just want to crash. I just want to crush this village girl right here. And so he's been working behind the scene, trying to put some sense, some spoken sense into our coconut head. What King Maponga would say. The African has to understand that it is about time now that we begin to use every weaponry that we have to share the love that we are blessed to. And one of these tools is what Elder Professor I mean, I don't even know how to give him all the titles. You can imagine if he was sitting in the village right there in Senegal, you can imagine every other titles that will come with it. So I'm just trying to package my own small, right, and put it right there on the table. So welcome all of you that are watching and joining this conversation today. We want to know about, the journey that Professor Ron Spears has been undertaking ever since he was brought to this planet to save you people, you African people worldwide. What has he been doing throughout with his mission? Last time he came here and he was telling us some good stories, and even ran up with his spoken poetry. And but this time is like I said before, he brought a book, and he's also going to share an incredible part of his life's journey and purpose for his people worldwide. And not forgetting, he's also going to be telling us the plans for the future, because I only hear, and I don't want to say something that I'm not sure. Thank God he's here to confirm it. I hear that he's going to be on the continent sometime soon. So, are you guys all ready? All the good things, as you've been calling diaspora, come home. Diaspora, bring your skills. Diaspora, come and invest. Now the diaspora is coming. Are you ready? We keep asking the continent, are you ready to stand this? Are you ready to stand this unity that is evaporating, the vibration, right? The volcano that is unstoppable. Are you all ready, Africans worldwide? Yes, we are ready on the Pan African Daily. And before I go into a long, lengthy, educational, knowledgeable conversation tonight, let me just round back what happened last week. King Maponga Joshua was supposed to come live on Saturday, and something just happened. um it's always a scenario when we hear Maponga is coming. If he's not really sitting on the screen like Professor Ron Spears is sitting, then all of us just know. All right, so we were lucky to have him. But one good thing is he was safe. He was safe. The thing that just happened is, like, when they see the king coming, everybody's just afraid. Nobody even knows what is bringing. So he was shut down, and that also affected us. And so here I am, even just to apologize to you. But one good news is, kings don't die. They are always there. So he will be live with us tomorrow, and we're going to continue on this conversation. Why do Africans prefer to die in the diaspora than on the continent? It's so sad. And I think our prophet is also here. We're going to touch a little bit on this. What is it that metaphysics can tell us about this dilemma? Now, we had a brother in Ukraine, in the Ukraine war, saying, I better die in Ukraine than to die in my country. Can you imagine how so sick we are? Then tonight, or this whole week, we had a trendy video of a Nigerian man that committed suicide at the airport because he was about to be deported back to Nigeria. And he said, I better die here in the UK than die in Nigeria. And also, we just heard the story of a Ukrainian medical doctor. As you know, most of them, they're Nigerian, that passed on, I think, 2 days ago in Sokoto state, fleeing from the war from Ukraine. So there's just something that is not adding up here. And we begin to ask questions and raise some kind of, crazy answers. But one thing that we assure is that the trauma and the depression and the sickness, I don't know, in our brains is so deep, no matter how we do it, that an African would leave his paradise and say, I better slave of my die on the continent. This is getting serious, people. We need to wake up. It is getting so serious, and we begin to see the signs and the symptoms. But now let me go back into our conversation for today. I just brushed that one because I wanted to give Professor Ron Spears a subhead into it. So when he goes into the power of healing, the power of us healing, how is it that we can even start mentioning, traumas and depression and this kind of terrible, hitting and killing ourselves by ourselves, not even the programs. Welcome, Professor Ron Spears. Welcome. It's a beautiful time. It's a beautiful day to have you here.
Thank you, Dr. Tata. It's been a while since I was on the platform, and I missed that energy and that time, and we had a great time together. I'm glad to be on the platform again. Welcome to all of the guests on the show. I bring you greetings from the USA, Detroit, Michigan, to be specific. I'm happy to be on, and I love all those titles that you gave me. Unfortunately, in the Gambia in the village, they call me the kids call me Two Bob. So
Yes.
they call me Two Bob. I don't like that, but they call me Two Bob, and they run laughing and giggling. But it's all love, and then the elders try to whoop them because they shouldn't be calling me that. But I hopefully I can change it to those titles that you gave me.
It's a lot. It's a lot for us to learn about who we are, and even our children. You see what colors does in their eyes. Like, for instance, imagine if you were also around Tanzania or the East African community, or even Nigeria, they're gonna call you Oyibo. And in the East African community, they should be calling you, Mzungu, all that. And if you come to us in Cameroon, we're going to be calling you Bakala or Mukala. So
Mhm.
that is how damaged we've been, that we begin to even not know who we are. And we give quotes and just from what we see in the pictures. Do you think this is actually a problem? Why you thought your mission work with the right of passation was actually the means for us to come together, unite, and so that we can begin the journey of knowing who we are?
Yeah, I mean it's how it started, and I want to make sure that we get the word right, because mission work and missionary work, two totally different things and connotations. I know missionary work does not go over well, but no, we do. We just have a relationship with a village in the Gambia, and we do work for them in terms of water systems, clean water, and Scott, I'll get into a lot of what we do, but kind of the how it started from rites of passage. It all started with our rites of passage program here in Detroit. And what we did was we met with we have a rites of passage program that's based here in Detroit, and we take boys and girls to Africa each year, teenagers, when they're at the rite of passage, which is like typically the age of 13, or just teenagers in general. And so we were taking the girls. Their program was called Kentucky, based on the Candace Queens of Kemet, or Egypt. And so they would go to Egypt for study tours. And then the boys program was called CAFO, which was kind of based on Alex Haley's book Roots, where and we would go to the Gambia. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
to visit the village of Jufaray, where Alex Haley traced his ancestry back to in his book Roots. So we would visit the village of Jufaray, and I actually met Benta Kente many times before she passed away, which was really
Mm,
good. The oldest living relative of Kunta Kente, the main character in Alex Haley's book Roots.
mm,
And so we obviously, since we're in the Gambia, that's real close to Dakar, Senegal. So we would certainly go to Dakar to see Goree Island, and and experience those emotions there. And then now that the Renaissance Monument is in Dakar now, when we
mm,
go to the Gambia in June, just in a couple of weeks, we will be visiting the Renaissance Monument as well. I've already been there and seen the monument, but we will be bringing a group of, gosh, probably about 11 or 12 young men from Detroit, young boys from Detroit, to do that. But anyway, that's part of our rites of passage program. And that's kind of how it got started in terms of starting to do this mission work in the village. When we started, we would basically be in the city of Banjul, the capital city in the Gambia, because we didn't have a connection with a village. And I
mm,
know a lot of times Africans prefer to look at the metropolis of their cities and not the village, because of it's perceived as poor, and they want people to know that Africa is a thriving metropolis as well. And we were
mm,
in the city of Banjul when we started this program because that's what we knew. But a young man approached us and said, "What you're trying to do will be so much better in my village." And so he
Mm,
invited us into his village in the Gambia. We spoke with the elders, and with their blessings, they started to allow our boys to come to the village to go into the bush for manhood training along with their boys. And and we've been doing that. We started doing that back in the 90s. And the transformation of with these young men. So these boys that we took to Africa back in the 90s are now, grown men with wives and families now. And so I'm able to talk, see exactly how this experience has impacted their lives. And
mm,
they still talk about this trip. They remember it. They even teach their kids about this. And so it's a wonderful blessing to be able to do something like this. And then when Egypt got a little bit shaky on tourism, the girls started coming to West Africa with us. So they would come and be in the same village. Their bush is over on the different parts of the village, but we would go into the bush and the girls would participate with us as well. So
mm,
one of the years that we went, there was a young man. He came with his parents. Are have an automotive business in Detroit, because Detroit is the automotive capital of the world, and there are some
mm,
some black people here that are doing very, very well financially. And his parents owned a company, or his father owned a company, a business, and so they have some means. And so what they did was they decided they wanted to. They saw everybody in this village, 1,500 people, drinking water out of one well, including the goats, the same well that the goats drink out of, the same well. And they said, man, we got to do something about this. And so they through their generosity, they built a water system there in the mid 90s. And and so, of course, this village didn't have doesn't have electricity, so it was solar powered. And now, so clean water is a big draw. And so now, fast forward to current day, this village of 1,500 people grew to over 3,600 people.
mhm,
And they built three schools: an elementary school, a middle school, and a high school, teaching kids from 15 neighboring villages. I mean, clean water is a huge draw. And of course, we would see, and being a village girl, these women, they would carry buckets of water on their heads, walking like 200 and 300 yards to bring water to their families. And so it was such a big deal for them. But since the village grew so big, we had to recently, about 3 or 4 years ago, they needed to upgrade the system. Okay, I mean, because the village had expanded, and it put too much pressure on the current water system. So they had us do a upgrade. They asked us to do an upgrade on the project, and this costs a lot of money, but we did it, and we had a groundbreaking ceremony a couple years ago, and then it brought out the Minister of Water Resources in the Gambia. It brought out a lot of the neighboring village. They let the kids out of the school to celebrate this, and it was just a huge deal, because now these women only have to walk a few yards to get a tap to get water. So the women in the village were loving me, and they were calling me by my African name, Abrema Suleiman Torre, that was given to me by the village imam who adopted me. And so, this is a Christian church helping a Muslim village. Doesn't matter. God's work for God's people. And again, in the spirit of one Africa, we are all one people. And so it was just a beautiful thing that we did, and I was so happy to kind of manage that project. So that's kind of how the mission work started. there in the village, and it just sort of expanded from there.
Beautiful. We can listen and listen and listen till and you just touch, when you touch those elements, it spark up my melanin. When you talk about carrying water on the head, I truly just miss it, to be honest with you. And I'm not saying that we should stay in that modus of carrying it, but I do know that a lot of these privileges that we have out here, we don't even have respect for water. And that's why we're starting our own campaign on the Pan African Daily TV, which says, I drink water and mind my African business. And I know my girls are right here. I see Cheryl. Thank you, Ron Spears. You're also drinking water and minding your African business, probably the Gambian water in the village. Yes. You see. So I know they only poking me up here and putting me some pokey face out here, like I'm watching from Brooklyn in the house. Tell Ron Spears we are also Brooklyn in the house, not just
I saw
Michigan.
that.
And like, like I would come to you, my people. Don't worry, I'll come to you. Just keep dropping where you are watching from and connecting here. That's a wonderful thing. Now, I want to get back into one relevant thing that you said. This attitude of the work on the ground should matter. It's not even depending whether it's from the Christian church or going to the Muslim, as in that spirit of the one Africa that we are talking about. So you move a step further, and what else did you do?
Sure, sure. So that's kind of how it started, and it sort of grew from there. So each year that we would go, um, while the boys are participating in the bush, I would, use, because we basically turn the young men over to the elders in the village, and they participate in the ritual, manhood training ritual. So while they do that, I kind of it gives me an opportunity to hang out in the homes with and talking to the elders and interacting with folks. And it's just the conversations that we would get in are just so rich and deep. Like talking about, Malcolm X. They would ask about a lot of different things with the history and what's it like in America, um, and what they could do to elevate their consciousness. They would share information with us. We would share information with them. It's such a rich experience. And I remember one, and this will make you laugh as well. I remember this like it was yesterday. We were in the bush, and then I heard some drumming coming, going on in the village, and so I went over to see what that was about, and it was some sort of ritual that was going on. It was sort of like a meeting, a singles meeting each other, right?
Mhm.
And the women would wear like white T-shirts symbolizing that they were single, and there was nothing different to distinguish the men who were single versus the men who were spoken for. And so I asked one of the elders, the elder sister. I said, "Sister, why do the women wear white shirts and the men don't wear anything?" And she looked at me and she laughed. My American brother, a woman could look a man in the eye and tell if he's single or not. They don't need they don't need any t-shirt or nothing like that. I remember that like it was yesterday. And you know, it I laughed so hard, and I guess you all can verify that that's probably accurate. I saw a question. Go ahead.
It's quite interesting. I mean, what kind of rituals when you say the youths or the boys were taken into the bush? I
Mhm.
know I remember our last conversation. I asked this, but the last time you were here, we were still not grown up to, I think, almost 55,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel in this short time. But of course, I did like, again, if you really like, what were they doing actually to the boys?
Well, it's a secret ritual, so I cannot share the details of what goes on. But in general, it's about respect for elders, respect for women, being self-sufficient. And one thing that I will share is that you know they'll do they'll send the boys on errands, doing projects. like
Mhm.
sweeping the floor for one of the elders in the village, so that they don't have to do that. So getting them in the mindset of not doing things for other people, right? And having showing that respect for elders, because a lot of these boys, they know these boys that are hard headed. That they could tell. And if so, if you teach them early and teach them as part of this ritual, preparing them for eventually for manhood, and preparing them for to be a good husband, preparing them for self-sufficiency, and not be dependent on adults. And so in general, those are sort of the lessons through a series of rituals and songs, and a lot of drumming, a lot of chanting, and just lessons like that. And now the women, I try to figure out what the women do in their bush, and they wouldn't tell me, but it's probably just a lot like sisterhood, the importance of being there for each other, things like that. So it's just a wonderful ritual. I have gone through the ritual myself, I can't wait to go through it again in a couple of weeks.
I
But
like that.
that's kind of the gist of it.
Actually, congratulations out there, because even I can remember, I think that was last year, a group of students out there actually also reached us and like, Mother Africa, teach us how to be men, teach us how to love our women, teach us how to make
Hmm.
love to our wives, teach us how to just be men. And I was like, okay. I never heard that in my life, that boys, men would come ask women to teach them, about manhood. And we started thinking also on the Pan African Daily, the role of the motherhood is very essential, and not just attending all these conference and crazy things of how women can, empower themselves when they already have the power a long time ago. So, what are they doing with that power? To teach our boys, our girls, how it is to stay in a family, to build a family together, and just do it. But I want to come back to what you said, like, these head-hearted boys. Did
Yep.
they kind of like, were they doing it because like they thought, oh, in an African village and seeing an elder and the voodoo kind of thing, if I don't do with this, were they afraid, or they just actually like went with the flow?
Went with they went with the flow because we prepared them,
Yeah.
for the trip, because some of these boys, this is not only their first time being on an airplane, they're going over to Africa. So it is awe inspiring for them, but we prepare them for this trip. Now, to answer your question, what the elders do is they sit underneath the baobab tree, and they say
Mm-hmm.
that the baobab tree communicates with them. And the baobab tree, they will look at our boys, and they say the baobab tree told us that you are the head-hearted one. And they'll point right to, and I'll know these boys. I've been spending a lot of time with these boys, and they're usually right. You know, they're usually right. And they'll get a stick, and so as they teaching the lessons, and I can't give up the ritual because it's a secret ritual, but you get
I
the
know.
baobab tree is what gives them that communicates with them about some of the
Mm.
boys. And so you all who are from that uh, village, folks, understand the power of the baobab tree,
Correct.
and how much it has seen over the centuries, and can communicate with the elders. And so, yeah, I see some of the questions. What's in it for us, and do the boys volunteer,
Mm.
or their parents send them? The whole point of the ritual is to teach boys to not be so dependent on their parents, because they will need to grow up. So their parents uh, give them over to me, which is an awesome responsibility, and we give them over to the elders in Africa. So, very few parents come on this trip, because, if the parents are there, they're going to start, you know, doing what parents do, protecting them and what have you. And they need to separate. They need to experience things on their own. Parents are not allowed in the bush with them. This is strictly for them and the elders to go through this ritual together.
mhm,
Unfortunately, because we take them out of school to do this, we only spend a couple of days in the bush, whereas folk boys from the village will probably spend several weeks, if not months. I don't know how long they stay in the bush. But and just part of the relevance for this as well is in Alex Haley's book Roots. The Kunta Kinte character was actually in the process of going through the rites of passage ritual.
mm,
He was out doing something, running one of the errands
mhm,
that assignments that was given to him when he got
to catch a
captured
clock. Mhm,
by the slavers and enslaved and brought to America. That
mhm,
that was part of his that's part of the history of this rites of passage. And so there are four main stages in Africa when a village and the community comes together. There's the birth, when a child is born, rites of passage into manhood and womanhood, marriage, and then when you make your transition to an ancestor. That's where everybody gets together and they celebrate the birth of a child, passage to manhood and womanhood, getting married, and then transitioning. In African American culture, we do weddings, we do christenings for children, babies, weddings, and funerals, but there's nothing formal for manhood training and womanhood training. So that's one of
mhm,
the biggest things that it does for us, that we get out of it, is that cultural exchange and adding that missing element in African American culture. And I see
mhm,
the question about my YouTube channel, Ron Spears Poet, all one word, Ron Spears
mhm,
Poet. YouTube.com/Ron Spears Poet, POET is my YouTube account. But yeah, that's kind of where how this started and the relevance of it and why it's so important in for African American culture and the diaspora in general. Because I mean, you might even know a lot of folks once they leave the village and they go into the city and get these good jobs and what have you, and start families and raising kids. Are they even doing rites of passage rituals now? You know what I mean? It's sort of like, or is this just a village thing? That's something that's interesting to note as well.
yeah. Um, we would actually be getting into the second part of this conversation, which is about the book that you wrote, and but I want to just stay in this part to say we also on the Pan African Daily TV with our girls out there. You can see all of them are women and mothers. We also thinking about not just from the Americas to the continent, but also from the continent to the diaspora. Why? Because you see a lot of our youths or young Africans are dying in the Mediterranean, dreaming of a paradise that doesn't even really exist in that format that they dream. And so we thought also of the project called International Experience. And this international experience is like the rite of passage, what you're saying, to experience the West. Experience, just go around and look at, there's nothing absolute. And so that kind of a thing, like you're talking about the village rite of passage from the diaspora to the continent, it doesn't change, like, or is that different from what we're saying? The continent youths also have to gain that experience in the diaspora to find out how do they live here, or what are the structures like, or just go around and see some tall buildings and all these Hollywood things that they begin to dream and think that it's a reality. Or we go to New York and see even the street people sleeping on the streets, also beggars and really poor people. Yeah. And to understand that actually you can be living your paradise, or prefer to die in a war in Ukraine than go back to your continent. So I think a lot of things that we're talking about here, of course, the Pan African Daily is about information, education, and empowering ourselves, and also taking the action to do it. So if you are here for the first time and you've not subscribed, what are you waiting for? We are really slow in the way our subscription is going on, and that's not fair. We know we have a target to reach out to 1 million subscribers, before last year that we did not achieve. We even have not even reached out to that. So please, we're encouraging all our followers and viewers and Pan-Africans and Africans worldwide to carry on this one step of action. Make sure you are subscribed, click on your notification, not just because we're content creators, but because we are in to change and build the Africa that we all want. So we said on the Pan-African Daily, give me 1 million and I bring you Africa for free. So next thing, you already hear a brother sitting here talking about Detroit, and we have the One Africa Conference, which Pan African Daily TV and Dr. Susan Tata is a guest to that, to tell, to connect, and to teach how is it possible that we can come together and fuse the power of our networking into building the Africa we want. So we also like Professor Ron to tell us a little bit about what that conference is going to look at, what are people waiting out for. But to my audience here, you are the one sending me to Detroit and to Panama. So I look forward and we're waiting for your contribution. So make sure you are signing and asking us how you want to contribute to this trip to take us out there for the purpose of our work and engagement. So thank you so much. I'll be coming back to that in and out again. And our fundraising team and our women on the board will be coming up this week to just present the projects to you and the trip that we'll be making out there, even in Europe and on the continent in this future. So we're taking our work out to the public and, to reach out like the ministry that he's talking about. People are not going to get water by just us sitting on the digital. We have to be in the villages. We have to be in touch with the people to feel them, to get that empathy, and then we get back to our work. All right. So thank you so very much. I want to come back to Professor Rowan and just a word. Before we get into the second part, which is the book.
Mhm.
And I think that's very important. Just the name of the book. We all know when you see BML, everybody, or BLM, everybody knows is Black Lives Matters, which is what has actually been a part of this process. But your book is talking about Black Matters lives. And everybody's like, what is the difference? Why the title? What is into it for us? And I see a composition of epigenetics and the metaphysics and the connection into oneness and spirituality. I'm like, what is it coming up again with? So we'd like to know more about that. What do you want to start with?
Sure. Well, let's start with the title, okay? Because yes, Black Lives Matter. Everybody knows and understands that their mission is to eradicate white supremacy and racism through, changing laws and in some cases changing hearts and minds. Whereas I just sort of changed the words around, okay, to Black Matter and it's lives, because it's a play on words, because the word lives can be pronounced lives or lives, right? And so
Mhm,
this is Black Matter lives. And I was on the show with Rev Shock's platform doing a book launch, and during that show another thing hit me. It's just sort of when I get on with I have a show on Rev Shock. If you guys don't know, it's the physicist and the metaphysicist, as above so below, and where we break down African sacred science from the laws of physics and things like that. So that's the show that I
mm,
have ongoing on Rev Shock's Philippe Matthews platform. And so, that's where the concept of Black Matter lives came from. On that show, when I was
mm,
talking about the physics, and of course, the black matter is the melanin in our pineal gland and the power of our minds. And so,
mm,
during the book launch on his platform, I had changed. I It just came to me because he and I are so frequent, what he calls frequency specific. Um,
mm,
it just starts vibrating. And I thought, just during that show, Black Matter lives, lives. Love increases your vibration to disrupt the epigenetic signal,
mhm,
lives. Okay. And so
mhm,
what that is just, this book is just about manifesting change using the laws of physics, the power of our minds, and the power of the spoken word. Okay, so poetry, as you know, is vibration. You know, the spoken word is vibration. And the issues that we're dealing with, well, let me break down the book real quick. Love. Let's start with love, the L. Black matter lives. The L is for love. See, love comes natural for us. You know, it's basically in our ancestral DNA. We are a loving people, too loving in some cases. But, you know, instead of asking others to love us, we need to have that self-love, and that's that where the black matter comes in, where we understand our power. So love is a force, right? It's the
Mhm.
strongest force in the universe when it gets connected to the black matter. And see, love starts
Mhm.
with self-knowledge. Self-knowledge is the foundation to understand the power of love as a force.
That's
And
true.
my background in college was physics, so I have a degree in physics. And so physics teaches us that an object at rest will remain at rest until an external force is acted upon it. Well, that external force is love, okay? And that self knowledge. So once we get that self knowledge, then you can start to understand spirituality. Spirituality is the foundation for understanding the power of black matter. Going into our African sacred science and using translating or transferring love into an actual force. And so what physics teaches
Mhm.
us about spirituality is energy is neither destroyed or created. It just simply changes form, right? And so that is what turns love into a force. And so love in this three-dimensional plane is dependent on others. That's like Black Lives Matter.
Mhm.
You're depending on others to validate you. Whereas black matter lives goes into the fourth dimension with the laws of physics, which is in that quantum where you get into that vibration. So it elevates it from the
Mhm.
three dimension to the fourth dimension if you want to, you know, go. So that's where we get into the IV. The L, that's the L is for love. The IV is to increase your vibration, right? And so the obstacles
Mhm.
that have been put into our lives and your show, where your show starts, it talks about the sins of colonization and slavery. Obstacles have been
Mhm.
put on us externally: colonization, slavery in the past, racism and white supremacy in the present. Obstacles in our lives internally, such as poverty, education, self hate, addictions, fear, health, breaking up of the family. Those are internal obstacles. So, what
Mhm.
physics teaches us is for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And so when we are sick and you go to the hospital, what's one of the first things they do? They hook you up to an IV, which is hydration, right? And
Mhm.
so African sacred science changes that from an IV into African sacred science teaches us that increasing the vibration. And so the black matter returns us to the waters of noon. That's hydration as well. That's going in that fourth dimension to start that transformation. And so
Mhm.
that's where it brings in the African sacred science, and that's the power of meditation to help you increase that vibration, getting in tune with that dark matter that's in our melanin. And so
Mhm.
the meditation is what helps us to overcome the internal obstacles, and the power of the spoken word. So that's the noon. The power of the spoken word is pata, and the pata increases the energy vibration. So the noon is the
Mm.
matter of all things. And then the spoken word brings out the pata, which is the energy of things. So now we're in African sacred science. And so the brother from Nigeria, Dr. Gabriel Oibu, in this book, I break down the Gagut equation, the God Almighty Grand Unified Theorem. Einstein died trying to solve the theory of everything. A brother from Nigeria created the God Almighty Grand Unified Theorem. I break that down in this book because you have to understand mathematical physics to appreciate and understand that equation. What Gagut does, we call it Gagut, God Almighty Grand Unified Theorem. This equation reveals that the battle of opposing forces using mathematical physics and tensors. This is the battle. The spirituality is strong with us. But those obstacles, they are the racism, white supremacy, colonization, and slavery still affects us today. So now we're obviously getting into the epigenetics, okay, because it still affects our people today. It still keeps us from being united. So now that's where the ES L. So L is the love, IV is increasing the vibration, and the ES is to disrupt the epigenetic signal. Okay. So epigenetics teaches us that the effect of post-traumatic slave syndrome affects many of us in Africa as well as the diaspora, colonization and slavery. Affects us to this day. Self-improvement happens, and it only sustains when we win this battle between spirituality and opposing forces. Once we win that battle and understand that, that's when we can see and manifest change. So what physics teaches us, the laws of physics teach us that energy is defined as the ability to do work. So when you can do work and you're not opposed by those obstacles because you've made that transformation using that black matter, that's when you can achieve that level of attune, that cosmic consciousness. And so the Gagood equation reveals that battling that, basically the black matter is that process of becoming that Kepra, so that you can achieve that cosmic consciousness. And when you get to that point, then manifestation is possible. And the outcome of that electromagnetic frequency, that black matter, is disrupting the epigenetic signal permanently because you have done that. A lot of people won't can't elevate their consciousness high enough to do that. So they get stuck in what the Black Lives Matter is about, that three-dimensional plane. We have to elevate it to that fourth dimension. And so that's where manifestation is all about. And so the last part I'll share about the book is that manifestation, because that's where the manifestation, the first part of that is the Kepra, the spoken word vibrations on becoming. That's that self transformation, as above, so below, that Ma'at. You start to live and be Ma'at, right? And it comes in unity. So it's one Africa, the importance of unity. That's another part of the manifestation. We have a collective transformation. So the first part is our own self transformation. We have to achieve that first. Then the unity for a collective transformation. Our signals can be connected across the pond, across everywhere, and we can recognize people who might want to be committing suicide, and we can have a vibration that can connect with their signal and give them a positive word of encouragement or just a nod and say, I see you. And that alone can break their decision to commit suicide or not, that because the power of our vibration has increased using the power of love. And so unity is that collective transformation that Dr. Leonard Jeffries always talks about: politics, economics, and culture. All of that is important. Africa and the diaspora, the manifestation is these mission projects that have come to me came through that process. That's part of the manifestation. The unity and the spoken word vibrations on love and marriage. You see the book, you see the ankh, and you see the wedding ring. Unity. We have to understand love and marriage. We have to get that male and female energy together, because that's powerful. So to manifest through me, through poetry and the power of the spoken word, listening to it, will increase your vibration and bring you closer. So my writing in this book is probably 40% poetry, 40% poetry. And so the unity, the spoken word vibrations on the reunification of male and female energy internally, because we have female energy as men, we have female energy within us. And then of course the singles, getting male and female energy, getting us as people back together. And so there's a lot of love poetry in here as well. So, and then the last part about unity is you got to have something for the young people. And that's where the rites of passage, the manifestation, the work that I'm doing with rites of passage is going out to the youth and getting them up onto increasing their vibration and increasing their awareness. So that's just sort of a quick breakdown of the book, and a lot of the things that I'm excited about and doing is the manifestation of the poetry, the mission work that I'm doing in Africa and the diaspora. We're also doing projects in Haiti, Haiti as well. So we're doing a lot of great stuff, but it's just the manifestation. And so the book kind of just really goes through that process. But but I will suggest the blackmatterlives.net is the website, but you can I would really encourage you to get the audio book too, because that's where you can listen. It's one thing to read, but it's another thing to listen to my voice, because that's where the power of the spoken word comes. And so all of my poetry is in the audio book as well. So it's kind of a spoken word bundle where you get all of the poetry that I've ever done, and you can listen to it and hear it, and it can increase your vibration that way as well. So that's all part of the process of manifestation. And so, that's kind of what I'm super excited about. But I've been rambling for a little bit about the book. You can tell how passionate I am, and I do have a poem for you at some point today when you're ready. But again, blackmatterlives.net is the my website. Um, Now, guess who wrote the foreword to this book? Was written by Rev Shock, and the
Mm-hmm.
introduction to the book was written by Baba Kaba Hiawatha Kamene. I tell you, getting that
Mm.
call from him and building with his mind, I was beside myself. So, I'm super excited about this book, and I'm gonna be on Rev Shock's platform tomorrow, promoting an upcoming series. But I would really, encourage folks to get the spoken word bundle. All of that is on my website, but the spoken word bundle is where it's really at, because then you get to hear the vibration that can increase your frequency and your, all of that. So I'll pause there because I'm sure you have some follow-up questions or thoughts, because I said a lot. I'm sorry.
I no, I mean, this is your conversation. Who should have been saying that? Who should have been saying that? The Pan African Daily is our educational platform where we share knowledgeable and awaken our consciousness to be the African that we want. All of us, we know it. And so when our guests or our professors, our elders, our scholars, our experts, our voices do come on the platform, is actually to share something that is not of this earth, something that is only can be given by the God of our ancestors, the most high powers that be. And so we appreciate your time. We appreciate you coming, taking time, putting out all this stuff out there, the research, all in the quest to get ourselves on one frequency, which is the unity of Africans worldwide for the Africa that we want. So, sure, we are really looking forward. We're excited to get, particularly me, you owe me anytime, you know that. Each time you're here, you owe me a point, the village girl.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
every other person, I mean, all the viewers or audience would only just be a part to tease the part of the cake because it all belongs to me. And and like I'm a village girl, except any of you here want to be a village girl or village man like myself. So yes, be you are welcome to the table to get that. So we want to thank you, Ron Spears. Can you just go on and dish us out there just a poem? Because I know that is one point that we are working on. When you talk about the vibration, now we had a series here of our volunteers that we just recruited, and we're going to be teaching them and training them to actually bring the stories also in their local dialects, because we understand that power and the vibration, particularly when we break it down in our local dialects and our languages, we don't understand one another. That's what we always say and we think. To be honest with you, when you listen to the Pan African Daily TV in the local languages, that's when you understand that we're spiritual beings. You understand every word that the other says without having to know what they're talking about, because it's a spirit thing. So I mean, it's just, I don't want to broke bother you. I would have been like, you have to summarize this in, I don't know whether it's Gambian, what do they speak in Gambia, but I know you didn't actually learn that yet. But telling all this that are coming in your presentation, you have to summarize in a local dialect.
Hmm.
So yours should be the spoken the spoken word poet, isn't it?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Now the poem I'm gonna do for you today is is kind of back into the waters of noon, but I don't need to introduce it. It kind of speaks for itself, and it's basically talking about the again increasing that vibration of male and female energy to better connect. Um, Again, reunification of that male and female energy. So it's again, it's in the book, but this is one that I know by heart, so I don't really have to read. Uh, no, because I changed it for the book. She reminds me of heaven, although it's a place I've never been. It's the way she makes me feel inside. She fills me up with so much pride. Her eyes are the window to her soul. The drama in her life has not taken its toll. I see in her an ancestral beauty and charm, a powerful force much stronger than me, protecting her from harm. She causes the planets and stars to align. She makes my water taste just like wine. When she smiles, I can feel her radiant glow. It warms my body from head to toe. She touched me, and I began to heal. All the pain in my body I could no longer feel. Her skin is flawless and spirit so pure. Her diet must be heavy with fruits and vegetables for sure. Her children will have the perfect teacher. Her community will not find a better preacher. She completes all that's missing in my life. I could think of no greater joy than to call her mother or wife. My life now has purpose with her on my team. To ask for anything else would be simply a dream.
Hi. Whew. Oh my God. Where Sinobia? Where Israel? Where are all of you?
You see how the
Where my
power of the
girls? Where
spoken
Israel
word can evoke
and
emotions
Mother?
and vibration.
I saw Matamera. Monica, did you hear that? Where are the women, the girls, the mothers in the house, the queens? Come and hear something. Yay. Anyways, I know. That is the point. I mean, like you talked about the IV, and you talked about this vibration. This is
Mhm.
the first thing that I know, that when we get to that point, we have made it. And this purpose, I think we've made it back to the creator. The energy, the female and male energy, even though we know the role of the woman in ancient African traditions. That's also what I'm writing on, being inspired with the inspiration of Credi Motua, whom we all know. It's absolutely that point where we want to be. And when we
Yep.
get fused up and melt in that circumstance, particularly when the consciousness fuse together, and we begin to recreate world that the world is longing for. Guaranteed. That's a guarantee. Is not a thought. But you were talking about the book, and everything that you're speaking about is just so real. But the only thing that I keep thinking in my mind is like, how am I going to explain it to the village people? Metaphysics,
That's-
epigenetics, it's this vibration. How? It sounds like rocket science.
I don't use those big words in the village. I mean, because that's where the gift is. I mean, it's just the piece that I just shared with you. You didn't see any big
Yes,
words or epigenetics like that. No,
nothing.
that's just the background of science. This is spoken word, right? So I wouldn't say that to the village. Just listen. just listen to my voice, listen to the power of the spoken word, manifest change. Okay, because that's how we get people. Because the poem I shared with you is obviously is very, very romantic, right? But there's many poems in here that are dealing with African sacred science as well, right? And it's just breaking it down in plain English and in regular terms, and they're short, and because people don't have these long attention spans. So all these poems are like 3 minutes long or so, and it just, if you can't connect with somebody in 3 minutes or less, then you got to go back to the drawing board, keep writing. My first poems 20 years ago sucked. So it's an increasing process as you manifest, and you manifest by doing all of this, what we call leadership and service, being in service of others. That's when you manifesting ma'at. And when you start manifesting ma'at, it gives you the language to best connect with people. So if people are just sitting home reading, that's not going to get you there.
Thank
Self
you.
knowledge is important, but that's not going to elevate your process of becoming Kepra, as the Dogon and the ancient Egyptians teach us about African sacred science. It's you have to. So when I'm in the village, or when you play the poem I did for you last time about my experiences and my emotions in going to Goree Island so many times, there were no big words in that. You know,
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
it's just showing love and appreciation for our ancestors and what they've done. And when I look back at some of the writings that I've done, I look back and I say, did I write that? I don't understand where that came from. So now I know it, that I'm in my process of becoming. It came from the ancestors. It came from the baobab tree. It came from the leaves. It came from the
Mm.
wind. It came from birds chirping. And I'm glad you mentioned that. There's a funny story of how I started really writing poetry. Because like I said, I studied physics in college, and I was doing what we call medunetter, or cosmology workshops, as well. So learning the power of meditation. But then when I started my career in consulting, I would travel a lot and be on airplane rides. And when you have rack up those frequent flyer miles, if you travel every week, you get upgraded to first class for free a lot. And so I was riding in first class every single week. And then when Northwest Airlines, which is their hub is here in Detroit, got bought by Delta Airlines, my frequent flyer status went in the toilet, and I had to start riding coach again, and it really sucked. But it humbled me. But that's when I didn't have, because the chairs are so small and people reclining, you don't have room to do anything. So I would just write in these little journals, and I would be sitting there in a meditative stance. You're strapped in, you hear the hum of the engine, and then you try to sleep on the plane, but you're not really asleep. I would drift into a meditative stance, and then I would wake up and just write what came to me. And that's what So again, you look back at that, it's the power of the ancestors. That's all I can say. So it's plain English, not big words like epigenetics. Big words are for lectures, you know, but when it comes to moving people, plain English. Make it plain in 3 minutes or less. And that's why I really encourage the spoken word bundle, because then you get all of my documentary, which has the visual of me at Goree Island, the visuals of me, um, you know, being in different places, and you get to see it. Um, my daughter is in school at Hampton, one of the HBCUs in Virginia. And so when I dropped her off at college studying chemical engineering, and she's a junior chemical engineering major, and on the dean's list, and she just turned 20 yesterday. So she's
Mm,
killing it. But when I dropped her off in Virginia, if you know, that's the site of the first of the original 13 U.S. colonies was in Virginia.
mhm,
And so that's where the first Africans from the enslaved ships stopped off in Virginia. Now, of course, Africans were here in the Caribbean and diaspora well before the U.S., but in terms of the U.S. colonies. And so I went to the site where the ship arrived, and these brothers and sisters were from Angola, typically, and they found a burial
Mhm.
ground not far from where I was staying. And so I went and I took off my shoes and socks next to the burial ground, poured out some water in a libation so that I can connect with their energy. And so when you ask where does my poetry come from, ancestors, and that elevation that I'm speaking about in terms of going through that process of elevating your consciousness. So that's what's different and unique about my approach, because it's one thing to lecture people and talk to people. No, listen to my spoken word. Listen with your eyes closed and increase your vibration, and that's how you're going to get there. So that's how I do it.
Thank you so very much. Yes. I think I actually asked that intentionally because I want the viewers and the audience to get the point straight that it is not just solely about the book. And he talked about the spoken poetry, and that is us, that's African. The words are like music, and the way you were just talking, you were putting out that poetry, I was dancing, the spirits just connect. There's just
Mhm.
something, and I begin to think when I was growing up as a girl, how how the boys used to cuddle us with a piece of later, and they use those words like, your when I see you, my body just make like,
That's
with
power.
no
The power of the spoken word.
Absolutely. That is typical us. That is typical. And I want to draw the attention of the audience to know that this book is very relevant, not just only relevant, but it has this Africanness in it. And the spoken poetry, which is one of my connect, is also relating to you as Africans out there. And so the teaching part, is for the academics, which we are. I mean, we're a combination of everything. We're a combination of intellects, of creators, innovators, but just a simple-minded people who just want to enjoy life in every aspect. So for the intellects, you have it right there. And for us, the normal people who are just dreamers and lovers and just do our thing in the village, simple way, we would go out for the spoken words because that's where the melanin is. That's where the secret is. That's where the unity is. That's where the power, the magic is. Yes. So yes, I want to thank you so much. I can't wait to see you in Detroit. I
I
cannot
can't wait to
wait.
host you
And
here. I'm so excited that you know they moved. This conference was supposed to happen in Egypt, and I was planning on
yes.
going to Egypt. I'm going to Egypt in a couple of weeks with the Hoppy group. But when
Mhm.
that the conference got canceled in Egypt, they moved it to Detroit, and I was like, yes, to have Leonard Jeffries, James Small, Rosalind Jeffries, Theophile Obenga, Malik, uh, Malana Karinga, Dr. Susan Tata, to have these folks in my hometown is lovely. Like I said, I'm gonna be on Rev Shock's platform tomorrow, but I'm gonna be on Happy platform next week, talking about because I'm gonna reveal something that I'm doing for the elders uh, in my hometown. I'm doing something big for them, being in my hometown, but I can't reveal that now. I got to reveal that. I promised Felicia last night that I'm going to reveal that on Happy's platform next week.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. I mean, I do look forward, and all our viewers here, all of you that are out there in the diaspora and those on the continent, remember this conference takes place on the 30th to the 1st of April, and we would be right there present to tell the African stories to the diasporans and also listen to them. What was it like when they left? I mean, it's a remember we're an extension of each generation. How do they feel? What are the words that they know about Africa? What are the stories that they know, apart from those that have actually been there? So it's a kind of a melting pot meeting, a session, a brotherhood, connecting back to your lost children, and they also to Mother Africa. I cannot imagine the energy that is gonna explode out there in Detroit. And so we're already calling on people that tickets are already available on happy.com films. Please make sure that you have your ticket. You'll be meeting me in person, but also we'll be doing a lot of podcasts out there also to bring to you, like to go to some of these areas that Ron Spears is talking about. We would also like to get other connections, like to the HBUC and to other communities out there where I really just want to sit down and listen. The young people, the kids, what is it that when they hear Africa, it comes to their mind? And allow them to touch me, feel me, smile me, like I am one of you. Don't you know me again? What happened to our memories? How did we freeze out of them? And also this kind of a contact melting, like we said, is power in unity conference. We want to see all of us there at that first conference. We know we have the other one that is coming also in Panama, is the journey of the reconciliation. These things don't just happen. It is time. Elderon, just tell them again. It is time. These are not
One
coincidence.
Africa, one Africa. Again, like I said, the output of black matter lives is manifestation. Manifestation, the highest form of manifestation is unity. You got to do it for yourself first. You got to elevate yourself first, and then that's when the second elevation happens, and that's the unity collectively, Africa and the diaspora all on the same frequency. It's a process. You can't just wish it to happen and it happens. You have to go through the process. No shortcuts. Go through the process. But the if the power of the spoken word can get you there faster, use that power. That's my gift. And one Africa, that means unity. It's going down in Detroit. You got to be a part of that. One Africa.
Yes.
One Africa is the
One
name of the
African.
conference. Let that sit. It's all about unity. No more division. No more squabbling back and forth about religions and different things. None of that matters. Black first. Be one. Black first. That's all that matters. Dark matter. What we have in common is the black matter.
Correct. I mean, there's no beating around the bush, like you said. We're not going to be sitting on what happened. Now we're going to be on the next step on why did it happen and why we must make the change right now. So I really want to thank you. Like I said, I don't know how it's going to be like. I'm already just excited to be there, not just be there. I mean, America is my home. I'm always there and stuff like. But this this
Mhm.
this journey is not just a journey. It's like what Medea says, family reunion. It's a family. I don't even want to put it anywhere. I borrow all that. I say it all the time. Like, why do we keep even just saying it's a family reunion? And I watch Madea and watch it, and you could see how the family come together, how we're going to acting, as a matter of fact. We
Mhm.
first of all would have to knock heads. We're going to quarrel. We're going to look like, particularly me coming from the stage with my broken accent. I don't even know whether they will understand me when I'll be talking to the kids. And like a lot of things I'm already just putting in my mind, like, would they even understand?
Mhm.
How they gonna be looking at, like, oh, is she truly from Africa? And how does it look like? I'm just so excited to see this, you know, this inquisitive, this consciousness being like, are you truly African? Are you truly my mother? Are you truly my sister? Are you truly my brother? And get someone right there to answer these questions that have been in the blue for all this while. Get someone you can sit on, like, does she really looks like me? And I am so like looking forward. It is the biggest family reunion that is going on, my brothers and sisters, all of you that are watching me from all the platforms on the continent, in the diaspora. You have seen it. Black Matter Lives. Black Matter Lives, Black Matter Loves, Black Matter Words. Connect it anyhow that you want to put it. It goes to one aspect and one fact that we're talking about. Coming together as one folks, putting our stuffs together, network with one another, build infrastructures like the great African kingdoms that we all know. And this is the time. Nobody's going to run behind. Nobody's just going to sit here and like, okay, we've been talking the digital time, Corona or COVID put us down. It's now we have to meet face to face and dance the dance in the village circle and drink water and mind our African business. Right. And so I can't wait. I can't wait, Ron Spears, to see you, to just see
Likewise.
you. I'm seeing you hours.
Likewise. I look forward to it as well. It's going to be powerful. I cannot wait.
Yes, yes, yes. So the book is available, and do we have a link on Amazon? I mean, Europe is kind of like
Yeah, I put it in the private chat, so you would have to move it to the public comments chat. The link for the book in
okay.
Amazon, but you can either just search Black Matter Lives Ron Spears, or go to
Hmm.
blackmatterlives.net, the website, and you know how to kind of maneuver within Amazon there to order the book.
Hmm.
But I put the link in the private chat here for you, so you would have to push
Hmm.
it to the
Hmm.
public comments. But blackmatterlives.net is the website.
Hmm. Oh, we're gonna get the book, and but is it possible that you can also see that we can do a series about the spoken part of it on the Pan African Daily?
That would be awesome. I mean, because see, that's where, you know, the next couple times that I'm on your platform, I would love to share some poetry and then enter into dialogue with your guests, about how the poetry
Correct.
hits them, and it won't just be the love poetry. Come on now. There will be some African sacred science poetry as well. But I will have a little bit of diversity of in each time, but that I would love to do that. If you would have me back on your
Ye-
platform, I would love to do that and get reaction from your audience
Yeah,
to the
sure. I
spoken
mean,
word.
we kind of like suspended the calling, but we're going to awaken that when we start getting up to this kind of practical series and where people can call in, ask questions. We were really
Mhm.
kind of like more focused on the chat that they put their questions and we bring it up, but we're going to open the lines again. And so, yes, we do look forward. Now, why not? Hey, Professor Ron Spears, we need the love poetry. Love is what is going to help us know our name. Our brother Seal said it a lot of times in his song. Love would help us know our name, know ourselves again. Yes, we're going to get into the secret science and what, but please, when you're coming, we are sweet lovers. We're so hot to love. Right now, we've missed each other. We've been broken. We've been disconnected for 400, 500 years. Please, we need so much love to connect us. So, yes, we will start with the love pottery and also engage in the other. What is the last word that you want to share with us tonight before you leave us?
It's just a promise. It's a promise that I will do love poetry on your platform. Every time I'm on your platform, I will bless you with, some love poetry. That is a promise. I just really appreciate the energy. The last thing that I will share is that in my introduction to the book, I talk about the Great Awakening, and I'm feeling an energy of vibration of unity right now,
Mm,
across the Europe, Africa, the diaspora, everywhere. I'm feeling a consciousness raising, and in the
mm,
introduction, I talk about the upcoming age of Aquarius, which is the female. The power is in the ladies right now. You guys are about to, that's why this is so important, and to keep you guys happy, because you guys are going to come. I mean, this male energy is just too stupid with this Putin stuff and all this other. We need that female energy in us as guys, and then, of course, you all as women. So it's all about you guys at this point. And so that's why I can promise you I will do more of love poetry, because like I said, again, love increases the vibration to destroy the epigenetic signal. Our brothers have done these sisters wrong too long. We need to reunify this male and female energy. And so I promise to more poetry like that on your platform. Every time you have me on, I'll have a little something something for you and your guests.
Thank
But
you. Thank you
the Great
so much.
Awakening is the
Yeah, Hotep.
introduction, is the first chapter.
Yes, it is.
Blackmatterlives.net.
Blackmatterlives.net. You all heard that. I hope that all of you are smashing that website to find out and being part of this community, which is undetachable. So we want to thank you, Professor Rance, and yes, we would be seeing you here. What is Iya saying? What is it? Okay, we'll be seeing you so soon, and to continue with this series anytime soon. Thank you so much. Blessings and hotep to you, brother. Bye
Hotep
bye. It
to
was a
you
pleasure
and the
having you.
family.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much. Good night. Good night or good afternoon out there. Yes. Thank you so much. I see that we're still a little bit kind of like lukewarm, but I want to thank all of you in the chat. Yes, my girls, my women, my ladies, the queens, the kings are all acting here. Like, yes, we need the love, we need the power, we need the energy, we need the connection. We need to reunite as a one global family. And I want to give out a shout out to King Madea, Queen Madea, for actually seeing this vision even before we started getting into it with his series on the family reunion. And you could actually see this coming. It's not something that is just happening today. And if you hear, like in his book, The Black Matter Lives or Leaves, you could already hear that I feel the spirit of the connectivity and the vibration, female, all the parts, all the puzzles are coming up together. And we're going to start also, like I said, on this circulation. I don't know what the images, the internet is really acting up. I want to thank Queen Vanna. Queen Vanna is the one that actually blessed our show today with 20 euros. And I thank you so very much. A lot of you have not been contributing. I don't know what is going on. I know that just support us. Yeah, we're doing the work and we need your support. Dr. Susan Tata has to be in Detroit and in the Caribbean and everywhere. Who do you think is going to send me there? It's just you, because I work for you, my people. We're working. I work for you. So make sure that you're sending in your contribution. Like I said, get yourself ready. A fundraising team is going to be on, and we're going to be sharing a lot of incredible information, how you can be a part of this process, and what is our team all comprising. But we're still looking out for a lot of volunteers. Like we already said last week, our first virtual meeting with the young executive teams just happened on Sunday. And our second meeting with the senior executive team also took place on Sunday. Now, I want to bring you a little sweetie things. Kofi was already asking, oh, what happened? I thought that the volunteers were going to come live and share this. Kofi, I know your birthday is coming on the 25th of March. You also a March boy or a March king out there. We're already starting to warm and celebrate you. Thank you so very much. I also want to thank those who joined Iya Babo Tata to celebrate his adulthood 18. And we could see all the comments. I mean, this guy is getting even more popular than myself here. It's like a competition. It's like we're competing with the boys out here. Who wants to be the celebrity for Africa? Until the boys start, I'm the prince, I'm the king, I'm the black, I'm the this. I mean, it's all about the vibration, the positiveness, and the consciousness of our children and our kings and our boys and our princesses. This is one of the biggest things that the Almighty Creator, the God of our ancestors, at this point. So, what happened actually in the virtual meeting? We had all these young volunteers that are coming so charged up. We have the internships that are the journalists, and then we have the country representative. And guess what? We had 22 country representatives. What does that actually signify? Pan-African Daily TV, I'm talking to you, already represented in 22 countries on the continent and in the diaspora. But remember, we have a target. We say we want to be in the 197 countries of the world. So we're still looking out for country representatives in the diaspora, in every country in the diaspora, or even cities as well, right? But those were the representatives that we're talking about on the in the diaspora. We just got 10 again. So we have Cyprus, we have Belgium, we have France, we have Canada, we have Berlin, Germany, and in Berlin we're going to be having the country representatives in all the regions, not just the capital city. Why is my internet tripping? Yeah, are you doing something on the internet? And so, yes, we are looking forward to get you. Remember, we want to build the voices of Africans worldwide. We want to showcase great works of our diaspora, migrant communities in Germany, all over the races where our people are. But also, we want you to join us on the team. What are we talking about? We need the subscription to rise up as soon as possible. It's been slowing a lot, even though I know the algorithm and Facebook and YouTube have been acting in our, slow down our voices, put your finger or put your foot on their neck. That's not going to work this time around. They should have done it. I keep saying it. It's too late. It's already too late for that. I mean, it's already spill out. It's the decade of the African, and nothing can change. Nothing is going to change. And all humanity came from Africa. We're all Africans, whether in the purple skin and the white skin or in the whatever skin, the melanated at the first frequency. We all do know that. And nothing is going to change small. So I want to thank all of you. And you see the poem, like Cherry is saying, I really love that poem. Yes, we have our sister Venna also, and also creative women on the platform that are coming up with poetry, with music, with paintings, beauty, just something that takes us back to who we are, into the village culture and the compound strategy, not just only you know. And so, yes, tomorrow we're going to be having Baba Maponga on the show. Baba Maponga wants to, dish us some facts that we already going to be streaming live on Farmers of Thought Joshua Maponga's page. If you are there and you say, you know what, I want the Pan African Daily TV to also stream live on my page, my YouTube page, my Facebook page, please get in contact with us. If you're out there and you are creating content in any format, videos that actually are promoting Pan Africanism and the One Africa, do them, put it to us. We're going to put them live. Okay. So everybody can join this trail and do this work from your comfort zones. You don't need to go anywhere. We know Africans are so creative, storytelling, dancing, pay 3 minutes, give it to us. We're going to upload it and put it live. You have a message to the African community worldwide. You have an innovation. You have a theory, how you think our unity is going to function. We've been seeing a lot of TikTok and stuff like that. But remember, we are the platform that educates, unite, connects, and learn. So we're not just creating content to entertain people, but we are here to reason with one another, to build each other, to love each other, and to grow into the African that the Creator made us to be. So I want to end here now and to say, please join us tomorrow with King Maponga. We're going to be getting Queen of the Caribbean coming up live this week because we missed her last week. And who is coming up again? I think Professor James Small was on the list, but he's like getting some conferences out there. But we're going to get a lot of speakers this week. So this week is going to be a hot week on the Pan African Daily TV from Tuesdays to Friday. We're going to be streaming same hour. If you don't hear from us, just join us If you click the notification button, then you know we're live, isn't it? So that's the music. Now, I want to close up by knowing or by saluting you. Where you watching from? I've not been seeing a lot of people apart from Sherry say Brooklyn is in the house. Who else is in the house? Namibia is in the house. Zimbabwe is in the house. Kenya is in the house. I know Ghana is in the house. Israel is in the house. Jamaicans are in the house. Caribbeans are in the house. I mean, come on. Did we just miss ourselves like this in a couple of days? We've been missing ourselves. So I see, okay, Masha Lawrence say, we also hear from the Dominica. Dominica, thank you so very much. Who else is here and watching from where? Can I? Louisiana, Lady Mino is watching from Louisiana. Chicago is here. Efwa, my name. Ligola is watching. Russia. Thank you so very much. Celeb. Oh, Celeste, are you here? She's watching from, where are you watching from? Kenya? No. Let me see you. Let me see you, Celeb. Kenya via USA. That's that concoction. Kenya via USA. So we don't know actually, is she in the US and a Kenyan, or she is a Kenyan out there? Thank you so very much. Bermuda is in the house tonight. Thank you for watching. Jamaica, Suriname. Wow. Surinamese are here. Ooh, these ones, they are the magic in business. Our Black brothers and sisters in the Suriname, please hook up with us and teach us how you did it. Just teach us. We need you so much here on the platform. Thank you so very much for showing me your face that you're here. And who is here again? Long Island, New York. BL Felder, thank you so very much. I hope you're going to host me in New York. Put out a plan out there, and I'll be out there, and we can see each other and dance and eat fufu together. London and Accra. Thank you. That's a combination. Kwabane, I know Kwame, that it couldn't be something else. London and Accra. Oh, wow. The city of the stars. Canada, Jamaica is in. Mega. Thank you so very much. Canada, Jamaica. Mega, we want to get in touch with you because we need a country representative in Canada. We haven't had one till now. Yes, we want to get one. So have you drunk water and mind your African business tonight? Please make sure you're drinking your water and minding your African business. Okay. Windhoek is right here. Wow. Philip is watching from Windhoek. Windhoek is the capital of Namibia, and they just celebrated that. I think it's 32nd independence. Please remind me, Philip Foucault, is it 32 anniversary or independence? Our Queen Petrina Shindi already told us everything. So Karanja is saying, I'm a king abroad. What do you mean abroad? 1212. One love, Africa, home and abroad. Thank you so very much. That's our correspondence and our manager in Berlin. In Berlin. Karanja, thank you so much. He's the founder of 1212 Alarm. Yes. Who again? Miami, Florida. Thank you so much. Miami, Florida is here. Who is that? Slicks. Slicks is in Miami. Are you hosting me? Let me hear all of you. Cheryl, I know. Yes, you just welcoming your neighbor. New York is here. I know that. Yes, this is a global platform. Of course, we are. Ligola is saying 21st, 3rd, 1990. What's that supposed to mean? Is that your birthday? Do you want us to give a shout out and celebrate you? No, today. What should we know about that, Ligola? Tell me more. I'm so curious. Okay, yes, that was 32. The Gambia is here. Gambia, the land of Kunta Kinte. The Kunta Kinte people are right here. The warriors, you know all of them. Thank you so much, Eugene. Eugene is our country representative for Gambia. And I mean, he's so incredible. I don't even want to tell you when they will start representing their countries and telling you all the stories here on the Pan African Daily. You would know what we're talking about, that we're not joking. That is our time. Mega, thank you. Yes. Who is here? Oh, Jamaica again is in the house. Wow. From Jerusalem. Who? Wow. Who is this from Jerusalem? You know what? When we heard about Jerusalem, I mean, I'm not talking about Jerusalem. I'm talking about Jerusalem. When we were growing up in the village, we thought that it was some place in heaven. When we heard Jerusalem, we never ever thought. Can you imagine what they brought into this, package it in the Bible someone told us. Even Egypt, we used to think that is not even existing on the planet Earth. We thought Egypt, Israel, Jerusalem, all these places are in heaven. And where is heaven? Don't even ask me any question about that. Right. So thank you so very much, our very, very queen from Jerusalem. We would like to have you. We would like to have you on the show. We'd like to have you share some beautiful, incredible stories with our people out there and how the community is feathering out there in Jerusalem. Chicago again, travel light. Thank you. I know. I feel all of you, my people. Okay, independent. Ligola, you were talking about the independent of Namibia. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, we do appreciate all of you too. I do appreciate you. I cannot wait to meet you out there in the diaspora. To be honest with you, I hope you're ready. I hope you are ready. I'm going to bring you the real village. All the places your ancestry came up from, the power people. Dr. Susan is bringing you live back on that platform. So I can't wait to see you. Please cook a lot of dinner in your homes, because I'm not going to just stay in some hotels. Who tells you we do that? Keep your hotels. That's the brainwash that we've been in. I want us to sit one face to face and eat with the fingers. That's what I'm bringing. We don't have hotels in the village. In the village, when we go anywhere, we just knock at every door. We don't even tell you we're coming. And you just see us in the compound. Are you there? Yes, you're there. You bring palm wine and bring cola nut, and we sit and we eat and we talk and we slap hands together, right? That is it. That's what we are. Don't come here and they begin to tell you, oh, I'm going to sleep in some kind of cold hotel. No, 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 no. Please make a lot of space for me out there in your houses. Do you hear me? And keep a lot of monies. A lot of monies, to go shopping. You're going to take me to those places that you've been going to and spoil your primitive African sister from the village coming to America. You watched the movie with Eddie Murphy coming to America, so you can imagine. I'm coming to look for my king, like he, like he came to look for his bride, and found her, Lisa, in the McDonald's. Oh my God, such crap. And we used to watch it. It was so beauty. The people of Zamunda all dressed in this biggest stuff. I watch that movie every day till today. Brother Murphy is just so incredible. Even the part two, when I watched the part two, when they had to go back to the continent, and you see actually the rite of passage that we're talking about in that movie is there. When the prince had to go and take out the something from the lion's mouth to be able to be the real king. Let's see how you are kings in America are going to roll on the African continent, going into the bushes, carrying water on your head, catching some bush meat. That's the rite of passage. Not going to take you. That's what was asking Ron Spears. How was it like? Do you know what it is, rite of passation? Ask us, the village girls. Ask Matamira. She will tell you. You have to climb the mango trees. You have to climb up to the mountain. You have to ride horses. You have to catch bush meat, just with a spear. You have to run and cross rivers in the night. What are you telling me? Just the natural things that we just grew up and do it, and run to catch a chicken somewhere. And what are you talking about? Rite of passage? Come to the village. We're going to show you what rite of passage is. And you will see most of you, playing with snakes or playing with everything. And we see here, particularly in Germany, a spider. I don't know what a spider ever did to a German kids. They can go crazy when they hear just of a spider, because they've been watching a lot of these stupid cartoons that makes you feel a spider can kill you. Go to Africa and see young kids running behind a snake to kill a snake, right? And here you come, we're all dancing, oh, spider. And hey, spider. Rite of passage is real. But you need to come to the continent. We take you to those rivers. We take you to climb the trees. We take you, like you see in the jungles. And we take you to follow the snakes, to catch the insects, the butterflies and everything, and pound some fufu. Mm? And the women, you carry children on the back and water and all that. And we dance in the sun and in the rain. What are you telling me? We are going to connect everything. We're going to connect you back to the lost memories, my people. You would ever be grateful that the Creator made you from this beautiful African continent. You would drink palm wine. Yes, somebody say he wants to drink palm wine. You would drink palm wine. Babaron is he just made that poetry. I mean, Babaron said everything. Honestly speaking, he's the god of rite of passations. So if you're a young person, please make sure you are on his trip. Okay. Yes, we're going to drink palm wine and eat fufu and dance and drink and and pass out. That's what we say. So I'm looking forward. Thank you so very much. I mean, I had to spend this wonderful minute and we do our play, what we call our play in the compound. Just talk about things that actually give us fun and unite us. Not just always about this too much kind of, I don't know. These are the simple things that we just do. Play bolo and dance around in the night under the moon, catch crickets out there. It's so fun. That's the paradise. Now you imagine why the Europeans, the Westerners are always in Africa. Can't you ask yourself, what are they looking for in this land where they call poverty? There's a lot of riches you cannot know it, my brothers and sisters. I want to take all of you there. When we experience that, the dust, imagine the dust. Just a couple of weeks, I told you, oh, Germans were busy cleaning their cars and say Sahara is here. And I'm like, what? Sahara? Let's go to the right Sahara, right? So if you question a lot and ask, why are they coming? Why are they going? Why are the Chinese there? It is not just because of our resources, it's our way of life. We're so easy, loving, sweet people. We laugh all the time because the sun works in favor of us, right? I mean, we just share, we eat in one plate, we do our thing the African way. Let's just go back to eat Mother Nature and just do those things, walk barefooted, you know, and do some of those kind of play day. Seven stones, do you know seven stones in the Caribbean or in America? I know you know the dice. You see, I'm talking, people are already getting like, what is it? Apart from meeting you as people, every infrastructure, we have it here in Europe. Everything. It's just that everything about you there is just big. Whether it's a refrigerator, it's just big. It's a microwave, it's just big. Bed, it's just big. Apart from that, we have that. But what is more interesting is to meet you, brothers and sisters. That's the best thing. It's not about sightseeing. If we have to see or go on tour, it is on the continent. We have to visit the continent. Then we go to the diaspora where they took our people on all those islands in the Caribbean, in North America, in South America. And we go also even to India, where our people in Suriname. We have to go all around the world because we are there. So make sure before anything will happen, right? We have traveled this earth to connect with our people. All right. So let us see us tomorrow. I know you're tired. Some of you not. All of you are like, no, we are not. That's who we are. Tomorrow is another day, and we're going to Dr. King Maponga Joshua. You know him. It's gonna come with a lot of fun. And yeah, Kemet is our beautiful land. Yes, Kwame, that's who we are, the land of the blacks, the Sudanese, the golden people. Matamera, thank you so much from Zimbabwe. And Queens on the chat. Please remember we're meeting tomorrow. We're meeting tomorrow for our Njangi, So, yes. What will you be watching, Lady Minor? Tomorrow, Lady Minor, yes. Tomorrow, please, all of you, we have to be in the presence of King Maponga. He has a lot to spill out to all of us. UK, you are in the house. Thank you so much. The family reunion is almost closing, right? So make sure you drink your water and mind your African business. Don't ask me why is my water colorful like this. I put some tea into it, some tea bags into it. So that's why it looks like that. So drink your water and mind your African business. I want to wish you all a happy evening out there while we're looking to celebrate King. And all of you drop me your birthday and your ed days so that we can share with you and give you all the blessings that you need. So thank you so very much. We see us tomorrow. Medasa, tuko pamoja, miaka, berry war. Bye. You are watching the Pan-African Daily TV with Dr. Susan Tata. The Africa we want. Unity, consciousness, our culture, our spirituality, our history. One Africa for Africans worldwide. Motherland's calling its diaspora home. Join my voice. Join my team. Join my campaign. Campaign 21 hashtag 1 million subscribers on the Pan-African Daily TV YouTube. Be a volunteer. Apply now. Be the new Africa.